This is Govs Radio.
Govs Radio.
And you are watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent. All right.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do that for now.
With me in your head because I didn't.
No, I did. I told
hear
you.
Any of this? This is all like completely new stuff. So weirdo. I feel like you need to move over more because the thing's right in your face. $10 seconds.
This is Govs Radio.
Govs Radio.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show, coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. Thanks for joining us this morning. GovsRadio.com is the website. You can see our show there live right now.
This is Ruth Buzzy, and I'd like you to know how much I love the Knockem Dead radio show coming to you live on govsradio.com. Oh, you make me laugh. You really do. Oh, please. I can't do this anymore.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sallie on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie. Hey, how do you say there?
Hey, Tony. You're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus, and
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show. They suck.
We are
I'm not
live.
believing a word you say today. So
Hey, hey Ken, you want to take it away?
Can he hear us? Is he there?
Yeah, he's here.
I don't hear him.
can I get Jersey on this thing? No, Mrs. Fogarty.
I'm
It's a
not
house
getting
phone.
anything.
Hi, want me to come off mute? Hi, Sally. Sure, I would love to.
Yeah, get right into it, Ken.
Gentlemen, boys and
hear
girls,
him?
it
Yeah,
is
we hear him.
ad time. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is brought to you by Rosslyn Social, a social experience in dining. Rosslyn Social is the area's premier location for elevated pub food, craft cocktails, and local beers. Rosslyn Social is open for socially distanced dining, takeout, curbside pickup, delivery, and on your favorite food service apps. Even their famous cocktails and desserts are available to go as well. You can follow them on Facebook at Rosslyn Social. They are located in the heart of Rosslyn Village at 1363 Old Northern Boulevard. That's 1363 Old Northern Boulevard in Rosslyn. Give Rosslyn Social a call and say hi to Nick at 516-801-4963. That's 516-801-4963. Thank you from Rosslyn Social. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. Two Eagles Auto Body is a family-owned and operated collision shop located in New Hyde Park, Long Island. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Two Eagles Auto Body handles foreign and domestic automobiles and motorcycles using such techniques as state-of-the-art paint spray booths and computer color matching. In the event of an accident, Two Eagles Auto Body has their own tow trucks and will walk you through the process from start to finish, from tow through the insurance process to the return of your vehicle. Two Eagles Auto Body is with you. Two Eagles Auto Body is constantly striving for perfection, with your satisfaction being their number one priority. Two Eagles Auto Body is located in New Hyde Park, Long Island at 1818 Falmouth Avenue. That's 1818 Falmouth Avenue in New Hyde Park. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527. Also follow them on Facebook at Two Eagles Auto Body. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Gina Conjemi Coffin, licensed real estate agent with Signature Premier Properties. That's Gina Conjemi Coffin, licensed real estate agent with Signature Premier Properties, 631-495-7696. That's 631-495-7696. When you work with Gina, you tap into the collective experience of the best, most experienced realtors on Long Island. Contact Gina today to discuss how Signature Premier Properties and Gina can help you market and sell your property successfully or find your perfect home. More information about Gina's listings can be found at signaturepremier.com. That's signaturepremier.com. List your house with Gina, and she will work so hard for you and sell your house so fast that it will make your
head spin.
Head spin. It will make your head spin. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Bella Vista Pizza. Bella Vista Pizza, for the best pizza in the whole wide world. Check out Bella Vista Pizza, where they offer thin crust, thin whole wheat, deep dish, and gluten-free pies. Also pasta and baked dishes, calzones and rolls, heroes, entrees, salads, sides, and appetizers. You can follow them on Facebook at Bella Vista Pizza and Pasta. That's Bella Vista Pizza and Pasta on Facebook, and on Instagram at Bella Vista Pizza LI. That's at Bella Vista Pizza LI on Instagram. Bella Vista Pizza is located at 154 Minetto Hill Road in Plainview. That's 154 Minetto Hill Road in Plainview. 516-433-4464. That's 516-433-4464. Mention Knockem Dead Comedy to receive a free garlic knot. BellaVistaPizza.com. Bambinos, check them out today. And of course, the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is brought to you by Knockem Dead Comedy. the premier murder mystery dinner theater company that provides interactive murder mystery dinner theater, game shows, variety shows, and more. You plan the party, they'll plan the murder. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery dinner theater company from Pennsylvania to Maine and everywhere in between. You may select between the Hillbilly Hoedown, a Redneck Wedding, the Family, the Fun, and the Felony, the High School Reunion, and the Whacked Family Reunion, a Lethal Luau. Knockem Dead Comedy will provide for you a fun-filled evening full of audience interaction, including music and dancing, games and prizes, and tons of laughter. Knockem Dead Comedy shows can be seen at restaurants, catering halls, even your home. Their shows are perfect for corporate events, team building events, wedding rehearsal dinners, holiday parties, fundraisers, sweet 16s, bar mitzvahs, you name it. You can follow them on Facebook at Knockem Dead Comedy and on Instagram at Knockem Dead Comedy. That's at Knockem Dead Comedy on Instagram. For upcoming show dates, check out knockemdeadcomedy.com/show dates. That's knockemdeadcomedy.com/show dates. Tony, Sallie, Jackie the Joke Man Marling, Rich Rada, are you there? Back to you.
Thank you, Ken Pichelle with the ads. Nice job. Nice job, Ken Pichelle. All right, hang on. I'm giving. All right, not yet. So go to your.
Where
I'm giving
is
you
your
lessons.
guy?
He's
In North Carolina. I got a message for him.
He might. Is he gone already? He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, he's there. I hear him. I hear him.
No, that's on delay.
I can.
Hi, outside
Hey,
of
Ken,
Raleigh.
stand a little closer to your razor.
It's cold here.
Ken, don't take that personally. He had the same advice from my Aunt Angie.
You know, a guy that I went to high school with, this Jewish kid in our class wasn't really old enough to shave, but he had that peach fuzz.
Yes.
But so thick it was almost like a beard. And this guy said to him, "Stand a little closer to your razor." And I laughed for a week. And the guy that said that to him wrote the song "Crazy for You"
Oh, nice.
for Madonna.
Oh,
Now tell me that isn't some. Tell me that is not some trivia.
There you go. Yep, you got it.
Nice.
There we
Well, we just gave Jackie some Facebook lessons. Very nice.
John
Very
Lynn,
credit.
Jonathan Lynn, he wrote for who? Madonna and not Blood, Sweat, and Tears. What? Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh,
Earth, Wind, Fire, Blood, Sweat, Tears,
There's a
lot of
theme.
production there.
Semen, Vomit.
That's
That's a punk
stuff.
band.
Yeah.
And that guy is also featured prominently in my book.
Bow to Stern.
Yeah, because in 7th grade, like 12 of us piled into Mrs. Markowitz's car to go to, you guys aren't old enough, there was a skating rink in Levittown.
I remember the skating rink.
And we all went there, and Mrs. Markowitz came to pick us up, and we're all jammed into the back. And I'm in 7th grade, and this girl had liked me. It's the first girl in my life that ever said, "You're cute." Who knew what a girl was?
She didn't have a
And
glasses.
so I was head over heels for this girl, not even knowing what that meant. And we're packed into the back of the car. And I reached over and I grabbed the hand, in the crowd of the gang, and I squeezed the hand. She squeezed back. I squeezed the hand, and she squeezed back. All the way from Levittown. And I got dropped off first in East Norwich because I was on the bad side of the tracks, and all the Jewish kids and all the rich kids was the rest of the gang lived on the other side of town. And Mrs. Markowitz was a Democrat, and my father was a staunch Republican because our whole family was. So they were like at loggerheads, but back then it was friendly. And I'm squeezing her hand, she's squeezing back, squeezing her hand, squeezing back, and we finally get to my house, and they open up the back flap, and I get out, and that guy, Jonathan Lynn, goes, the guy with Stand Close to Your Razor, he goes, "Jackie, that was my hand you was And I could still see that goddamn white Falcon going down the street with 10 kids screaming, hysterical, laughing, and nobody was laughing harder than Mrs. Markowitz, who proceeded to tell that to every single person in the little town. But what a great! I mean, it was so crowded that it was the perfect sting. It was beautiful. And meanwhile, the guy has never returned a call or like he joined some kind of cult. But he's a famous producer out. He worked.
What was he thinking that the first time or second time or third time to squeeze his hand, he didn't say, "Jackie, knock it off"?
No, he knew goddamn well because everybody was in love with Kathy Crane, and he knew that I was probably searching for her hand. You know, he might even went out of his way to meet. You know, we never discussed it.
He had soft hands then, I guess, huh?
He had very nice hands.
Supple
I never spoke to him, but I
Are you
sent a
still
few
in touch
letters.
with him? No pun intended.
No, he wouldn't.
Oh.
That's
Maybe he wrote the song for you.
He just has never returned. He became a member of the some cult that's out of Virginia Beach, and him and my high school girlfriend were both in the same cult, and she's a dear friend, and I went back and revisited in every possible way, but she couldn't connect me with the guy. It's Jonathan Lind. Anybody that knows him. So if I got to be friends with Mark Hudson, and their kids went to school together. He says, "Oh yeah, me and John are tight." I said, "Well, for Christ's sakes, tell him I want to say hello to him." You don't want nothing to do with me.
So Mark,
him and Howard Stern are the only two people I ever met in my life that don't want to be in touch with me. Everybody else is still stalking me, including Joe.
That's all he talks about.
Are you allowed to be here?
Only because you're here.
No, but I mean, you can't. You know,
The restraining order?
Is it legal?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
with the FCC to have the owner.
No, he
that's
gives
all-
us permission
that's
to be
all
here.
Kinds of, you got to read this book. With these, oh my God. So how are you?
Thank God.
You look
I
great.
heard you were here. I had to come.
Oh,
My favorite person.
Can we ask you how did you?
I got to
been
tell
the
you my
past year?
new joke. I got to tell you my
okay.
new joke. It's very dirty.
Oh, that's fine. Ma, cover your ears. My
An
mother
old
watched.
guy, an old guy is sitting at the bar, and the bartender says, "How old are you?" And he says, 97. 97. Wow. What's your secret? He says, "One time I sucked a cock for a watch." No, I mean the secret to your longevity. Fruits and vegetables. How off the wall is that?
Yeah, that's great.
You got him stockpiled after this past year. You got.
That's it.
That's it.
Jack, can I make you a deal?
That's a whole different show, man.
Still dicking. I'll tell you, I don't know. I guess I was doing those calls to David. Oh, yeah, because I send them to you guys.
Yes, the Feldman thing. Yeah.
I almost have hit 100 of them. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
And my guy from Oleo Records, Carl Oleo,
Love his cookies.
got him on Alexa. So what I'm taking these phone calls, and I'm naming them, and it's ridiculous. I mean, Alexa.
Your mobile device has lost connection to the internet.
You're a whore.
Is this your first time out of the house in the past year?
Does Alexa need a watch, Jackie?
The Wi-Fi is here. Alexa, play Butterfingers by Jackie Martling.
I'm having trouble connecting to the network.
Fucking slut. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
It's working. Everything else is working.
Do you know that Siri is changing it so that you could pick whether you want a man or a woman? Because men have said that they don't want to be told what to do by the woman voice of Siri. I'm like, it's a computer.
Can you imagine this?
And they still can't even take
Alexa,
it.
Look, he's
play
getting mad.
Butterfingers by Jackie Martling.
Now she'll do it because he sounds threatening.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble connecting to
You slut.
Is it on YouTube or something? Can I just?
No, I wanted to show you that it's on Alexa. I've got like 15 of these stupid. The David Feldman calls are like 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes long.
Oh, he chops them up and he puts them on.
No, he doesn't
something?
chop them up. The whole thing is on there. There are
Oh.
like 15 different calls. I name them. I just sent 5 more in yesterday. And
Nice.
they're like, it's so much fun because, but I don't know if anybody knows that I'm serious about it. But I put on the other day on Twitter, I put Alexa, play, and then I gave all the different names,
Right.
But I haven't run into one person that said they tried it yet, except for me.
So, all right. So they're the calls to Feldman. So where is it that you're typing in? Where can they find it?
Just if you have Alexa, you just go Alexa.
okay.
And you
now
ask
I'm
for
sure
it,
there's
yeah.
a way to access that online, right?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you know more about Alexa than I do. I don't even know how many breasts she has. Alexa. That's Billy
Jack,
Joel's
how about
daughter's
Cameo?
name, right?
That's correct. Yes.
How about Cameo? Are you on Cameo? That
Are you saying that to tee me up, or
Yeah,
you know
he's
that
been
already?
doing that for a
Yeah,
while.
why
Yeah.
not?
In fact, I'd never heard of it before, and Jackie was one of the first people that I even
When
knew did it.
they came to me, came to me. I'm sure they threw the bushel basket out there to everybody years ago, and I literally it went through my mind. All right, I'm not on the Stern Show, and I am definitely sliding rapidly, but I'm not there yet. Where I'm going to say, hey, happy birthday to you. Remember the singing telegram jokes?
Yes.
Remember that?
Mhm.
That your sister Rose is dead. Remember that?
Yeah.
And did you ever hear that? Come on, give me a singing telegram. I don't think so, lady. Come on, I never had a singing telegram. All right. Your son was killed in Vietnam. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Those jokes are so sick. So, but then a couple of years later, I looked and everybody was doing them. So I signed up for it. And at first I put $100. I said, you know what? It sounds like a lot of money just for a stupid video. And I want to do these. I don't care about the money as much as doing them. So I made it $50. And I've been doing a lot of them.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Not all the time. Sometimes I do 3 in a day. And then sometimes I go almost a week without getting one. And then I get 5, But because it's so easy. Somebody says, my friend Joe, he loves Italian jokes. He really loves black women. And he really loves poop jokes. Or, whatever. They give me the different bullet points.
Right.
And it's so easy. I just hit every bullet point in 2 or 3 minutes. And I got like 95-star reviews, which is just
That's
fun.
why I thought it was a natural for you. You got to
Because
go
it's
for
so
every
easy.
bullet point.
And you know what the most important thing is? None of us are working, right? Or some of the guys, but I'm not flying to Florida or Kansas City for $3. I'm going on 58 years old, and
I think he's dyslexic.
I can't take a chance with the disease and everything like that. So I'm not traveling at all. So you're not performing, and you get wacky,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
You need something to do.
But these stupid Cameo.coms are like my methadone.
Yeah.
I go on, oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, Charlie, happy birthday. I tell 3 or 4 jokes. And it's enough to get me through the day.
Cathartic,
It really
yeah.
is
Mhm.
like methadone.
Yeah.
I do 3 or 4 of them. It's like I feel like I had a good show.
And that's the thing, right? You say you're not doing it for the money, but that money
Oh,
adds
yeah,
up
no,
if you do a bunch
of course
them.
I'm
and then-
doing it for the money. Jesus Christ.
But then the prices on some of these
but
are
I'm
insane.
saying-
Yeah, some of them are.
Like $500 for some people. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, I'm not looking to make a home run. $50, and you don't even get it. You get $37.50. Like
I always
then
wondered
somebody
how that
tips you
worked.
like
Yeah.
$2. It's just
You could tip them? I didn't know you could tip them.
they tip you.
I didn't know
One
that.
guy,
I didn't know that either.
one $50 one. I got a $25 tip. Of course, they take 25% of that too.
No,
no way,
They give
really?
a tip?
Oh yeah, they showed up at my house the other day. I said, "Why are you here?" We're here for 25% of your balls.
Yeah, that's cold.
But what are you gonna do?
That's right.
Oh, I got a good marriage joke for you.
Go ahead.
The lady goes to Doc, says, Doc, my husband, I don't know, he just keeps flying off the handle for no reason. All of a sudden he'll get nuts. He just gets out of his mind, and it happens so fast, I don't know what to do. He says, lady, it's very simple. Whenever it looks like your husband's about to get agitated, take a big gulp of water and swish it around in your mouth. And keep swishing around your mouth. Don't swallow it. Keep swishing around your mouth. Swish around your mouth until he calms down or he goes out or goes to bed or something. She comes back in a week. Says, that's great. That's unbelievable. He calms down immediately. What is it about swishing the water in my mouth that calms him down? He says, it's not the water, lady. It's you shutting the fuck up. Is that a great joke?
That
was good.
That was good.
I'm going to remember that one. That's good.
That is good.
That is priceless.
That is good.
Now, what are we looking at? Is that people talking to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
They're
everybody
saying hi.
watch it on Facebook.
Yeah, I always see these things. I look at all, and then you realize it's the same 3 people saying hello, goodbye. How
No,
are
we
you?
got a good amount watching right now. Do you know Captain Jack? The song. Remember the Billy Joel song, Captain Jack? That's him. It says See Jack Scala. That's actually
Did
him.
he come in here one day when I was here?
Oh, you know what? I think he did. Right?
Maybe.
Right.
I think so.
He lives in upstate New York, so he pops back down every now and then.
Aaron White is watching. Aaron White is the.
What? And you had Charlie here, right? The guy that actually said goodbye to Hollywood. Who the fuck is Captain? He ain't Captain Jack.
It is. It's actually him.
Oh, it's actually the.
Yeah, and they Cristiano screamed about Billy Joel's
Yeah, that
song
was a load
forever,
of
and it
shit.
wasn't
And
even
that really
about-
wasn't.
No, that wasn't
Wait,
it.
Christianity's wasn't the restaurant he sang about.
No.
And they claimed he wrote it there.
Yeah,
It's
spent a
all
lot of
over
money
shit.
there for no
Which was,
reason.
you know what? Which was
I-
fine for Long Island. It was fine for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
What he did was he
The Parkway Diner was really there.
Yes. He dedicated the Cristianos in a concert, and they just went nuts and,
But that's, I
grabbed
mean,
him.
that's
Oh
so
my
great.
God.
I mean, it's not like
Yeah, it's
letting
not
anything out of
terrible,
the band.
but I really thought that was. That closed that place too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was,
I think it's a
so
Chinese
great. It was
restaurant
such a
now.
great little
Liars.
joint, you know. Oh, I would have never said that if it was still open, you know.
And back in the Stern days, you guys had the Spin Doctors on a few times. That Erin White is watching. She's the wife of the bass player from the Spin Doctors.
Erin White is didn't the bass player that Spin Doctors used to watch your show or something?
Yeah,
like
he comes in once in a while. Yeah.
Mark White.
The Spin Doc. That was Harvey, either Harvey Leeds or Steve Leeds' band. They both were. Harvey Leeds was the A&R guy for Epic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Harvey. Harvey actually spent like 20 or 30 years on the road with Ozzy. So when Ozzy Osbourne wanted to dress up as a woman, they dress up as women together. You know, not in a gay way, just because Ozzy was out of his.
That's why Mark White's dressing up like a woman.
And
Now we
Harvey's
know.
wonderful. Who's there? I don't recognize one name.
You can remember an Ozzy Osbourne tour, but don't recognize one name up
What
there.
else? Nobody I know. Everybody I know is dead.
Yeah. Well, there's my mother. She's watching. It's a lot of our guys are watching, but that's fine, and they're all here to see you. Oh, look at that. Jackie Martling is watching. See that?
Oh, I am watching. I'm watching.
That's what it says.
How'd I do that? I don't even know my own strength.
But it's good to see everybody. James is watching. Jeff is watching. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. But don't forget, if you go on govsradio.com, one person at random who's commenting on govsradio.com gets, and there it goes.
Gets
the,
nothing. I got it.
the Rosin Social complimentary drink poker chip.
What is it? The Roslyn Social?
Now nobody gets it. We can't find it.
The Rosin Social. It's a poker chip. Turn it around. It tells you get a complimentary drink, courtesy of the Rosin Social. In fact, I have right here in my hands.
Could
Jackie
you
Martling.
spare it? What about a free meal?
Well, here's their menu.
A drink.
Rosin
Why not
Social menu.
half off?
Half off a drink? I'm giving you the whole drink.
Half off a drink. Here it is.
All you have to do is comment on govsradio.com during our show while the show is on, and we'll pick one person at random to get a Rosin Social poker chip. And guess what, kids? We also, I promise you, and we got them. The Govs Radio air fresheners are here. I'll give one of these away today, and then I think we're going to give them over to Domestic Disturbance to start giving them away on their show.
Yeah, that'd be.
You're going to
that's
give
a good
away
idea.
one.
Just
One per show.
Half a one.
Give Jackie.
Just
please
one.
give Jackie two. I can't take this anymore.
There is no holding you back, is there?
When I got it, I go with it, Jack.
A Governor's Radio air freshener.
Look, it's like a
You know that- you know
it's
he's
like
not-
an Academy Award bank. Look what you got with
Yeah, he's not saying no. He's still
look what
taking
you
it.
got with
You know that
Harvard.
joke, of course, right?
Sure.
Oh.
No, go ahead. Why don't you tell me anyway?
The
For the people who
the
don't know.
blonde smashed her car in the wall, and the cop comes up and says, "What happened, lady?" She says, "I was driving down the road and there was a tree, and I swerved to avoid it. There was another tree, and I swerved to avoid it. There was another tree, I swerved to avoid it, and I ran into the wall." The cop says, "Lady, there's no trees on this road for 10 miles. That was your fucking air freshener." I thought that's why you were handing me this, to tee up that joke.
How do you do when you're performing at the club?
I
do you-
forget.
It's been such a long time. Are you excited that it's back? Are you looking to get back out there?
You know, I swear to God, I take a pill. Did I take a pill? You know that old thing about, that thing about going in the room and forgetting why you went in the room is such child's play at this point. Like,
He's doing that right now, I think.
Like, you have no idea, and I forget everything. And I mean, You know, what was that band in the
And I'm
70s? Sam and
Sam and
I'm
Dave.
amazed at
Oh,
his memory.
Dave!
How many
You know-
times have we talked that I'm amazed at your memory?
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
but it's so
amazing.
But it isn't. Nowadays, it's like, who was I trying to think of?
Well, you remember stuff from the 60s,
Jan
but
from
now.
the Window Factory. They used to advertise on the Stern Show. Craig. Now, see, memory is so weird. I spent a half an hour this morning because his partner and his brother passed away long ago, and so Jan and Mark, Jan and something because my friend Sid said, call Jan because I need new windows in my Scrabble room, and he said, call Jan. I'm like, what? But now it just popped in my head. But I knew those guys and must have said their name a billion times, and I couldn't pull up Craig's name. And it's you get locked out.
Yeah, no, you do.
And once you're locked out, you're really locked out.
Because then you make yourself nervous
You
because
make
you can't
us-
remember
right.
that.
Yeah.
You just got to step back and try to remember the situation. That's what helps for me.
And
Yeah.
I've never been up there, like once in a blue moon, where I'm not absolutely sure what the next joke is, and it seems like an eternity, but it turns out it was only 5 seconds at the most.
Yes.
You know, you take a step
Right,
this
but you
way and you
just-
step back.
It just feeds on
There was
itself.
there's one joke where there was what, you know how some people you can't remember their name, and you can remember everybody, and then they just
Right.
lock out for some reason. And there was a word in this joke that I always worried about because it's not a normal word that comes up, and a couple times. I don't know how I danced around it, but the word was not coming up when I was on stage. But that happens so rarely. But now I haven't done this in so long. I'm like, what if I get up there and start, and I go Jan and there's no Craig, you know? So
Right.
it's going to be very. I figured I'll
I
just
think
say, look,
it'll be
folks, I'm
smoother than you
73
think.
years old. I haven't got a brain in my head and I haven't worked in a year. Fuck you. I'll give you your money back.
It'll be smoother than you think because you speak much quicker on stage than most people. So even in your if you slow down because you're thinking about something, it's still faster than what other people do up there because you have to really focus on your.
And I've said it 100 times, Jack. I think people just to come see Jackie Martling. You can go up there and read poetry. I think there's a fan base that just wants to come and see you,
Well,
just be around you.
I'll tell you, the first time I worked in Nashville at Zany's, a million years ago, I was doing really well everywhere, and I got up at Zany's and did fair. And I came off, and I was like, that was weird. You know, they laughed, but, you know, it wasn't like I was used to. And I thought about it, and the next night, I spoke literally half as fast. I destroyed them. I got through maybe half of my jokes. Because it's not that they're stupid, they just move slower.
Right, it's a different
Sure.
audience.
And they're not used to the idea.
Know the room.
Yeah.
My favorite expression is know the room or play the room.
Right.
yeah.
And it was such a learning experience.
Speaking of rooms,
Are you
we
going to
have to
are you
go
gonna
back?
flash me,
Wait,
Sally?
What's that?
You going to flash me?
I'm next.
Looking very
That's
chesty.
like Cameo, though. She'll charge you for that.
Looking very chesty.
Very chesty. That's every day.
Quite chesty.
Wait, I have a question. Who has a
8
Scrabble
inches.
room?
Yeah, yeah. And they're even asking, what the hell is a Scrabble room? And doesn't involve nudity by any
Oh,
chance.
yeah.
No, the
There's
sun.
a sk-
I
they
call
are
it the
asking.
sunset. It's the sunset Scrabble room. You've been to my house. That
Yes.
That big room.
That's beautiful.
That big room on the front with all the windows. When I first got there, I set up my father's old table there and put the Scrabble game there, and that's where I was going to play Scrabble. And I think I played there twice with my ex-wife, and that was that. But Sunset Scrabble Room sounds good, and the
Yeah, it does.
sunset's on it. And it's gorgeous, you know. But the windows, are, the Anderson windows from 1970. Like last night, I went out there, and like half of them are open because they rattle themselves open. you
Yeah,
know,
it's
which
been
is-
really windy.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, and I'm so scared to find out what they cost. And then Tom says, "Hey, get a hold of Jan from the Window Factory." Meanwhile, those guys took on a partner back in the late '80s that robbed them blind. They inherited the business from their parents, and they made all kinds of money, and they were riding high and advertising on a Stern show, and they were killing. We were making. This is in the early days when we made up really long commercials for everybody.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And all of a sudden somebody said, "Hey, I'll be your partner. Just give me the keys. See you later."
Ugh.
That happens to a lot of people. It happened to Rascals Comedy Club. That happened to. He
Rascals
said,
Com-
I'll never forget. Mark said, "Hey Jackie, this is whatever his name was." He says he's gonna, everybody's gonna be on TV. This is our new partner, and I swear to you, when I shook his hand, I counted my fingers when I was done, and I said to myself, "This, you got a gut.
The hairs are the back of your neck.
Sometimes your gut is wrong.
Yep.
Like, hey,
Yep.
Rascals is going to be a bank." I'm like, hey, I knew it. I knew damn well.
Where was it? Where was Rascals?
West Orange. I got some very nice news the other day.
Okay.
The Iridium in Manhattan.
Oh, love the Iridium.
51st
I love
and
that
Broadway.
place.
Yep.
I must have been on stage 50 times with Les Paul.
Les Paul, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Les Paul used to pee his pants. The dirtier I got, he would go nuts.
There's a great clip of
He's got all
YouTube
these-
of you with him on stage.
Right, and there's all kinds of, his jazz audience and all kinds of people, and they're just so shocked when all of a sudden I'm up there telling dirty jokes. But it was rubber stamped because he was he loved me so much that they couldn't be appalled because he should have been appalled. And we just had so much fun. And they always had a camera. And then in the last 2 years before he passed away, or 3 years, it was like a 2-camera shoot, and those cameras were on every night, and I'm sure they were HD, top of the line, because he was a tech guy, and this guy's
Right,
a tech
yeah.
guys,
Mhm.
and nobody would answer what happened to those
that
tapes.
tape was?
And like a couple of weeks ago, a new friend of mine lives next door to the guy that's in charge of Les Paul Foundation, Michael
wow.
Braunstein, who's a great guy. He said, "Hey, tell Jackie I found all these tapes with him on them."
Oh, wow.
So I am
wow.
dying. I mean, it's too late for my documentary, but imagine really good footage of me telling filthy jokes with Les Paul's an icon. I'm an icon's icon,
Right.
and him dying. Of course, I don't know if the Les Paul Foundation wants to see, him falling off his chair when I say her pussy was dripping, But hey, all in good time.
Well, you never know. Maybe
But that's fun. That's an exciting thing.
really
sounds like a
is.
Govs Radio special. No, really, that is great news, though.
You heard it. I'll bring it here. Hey, it's nice
that'd
to
be
be
awesome.
here again.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's good to see you, pal.
It's great to
But that
have
must
you.
be a thrill, though, because I know you're a big
Yeah,
music
you
guy.
find, and
Being
also when you
here?
find something like
You
that
really
you've been
think this is
looking
a
for.
thrill? Being
No, I'm
here?
talking about the Les Paul thing. I know this
Yeah,
isn't
this
a
is a
thrill.
big
I'm talking about the
fucking
Les
thrill.
Paul
You
thing.
know what I got?
You got an air freshener,
And a half a drink.
and I'm sure you probably already
Look,
squeezed his knee
look.
bugging him for lunch.
Full color. Look at these. Full color.
I was talking about Les Paul. I know that must have been a
Black
big
and
deal.
white.
This station can't even make
Black and
somebody
white.
happy that's been in their house for a year.
Black and white. Black and white.
Well, now you're just being racist. I know it was a big thrill that
I didn't say anything.
even if it never airs anyway, I bet you're going to love just seeing that footage. That's what I was talking about.
Oh God.
I mean, I know Keith Richards was
I'm
on the
so
stage with
anxious.
you, and I mean, you've been at the Iridium. There was tons of guys that used to go there.
I followed Merle Haggard, Slash, Richie Sambora,
I once read that whenever McCartney was in town on a Monday, he always went to Les
and
Paul's
I
show.
never saw him there. And I would miss him by a week or 3 weeks or something like that.
Even on Stern, you missed him by what, a year or less than a year?
Even less than a year. That always broke my heart.
Yeah, but you did meet him. I think you told us that story once. You told him a joke.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But that was years later. That was
Right, but you still
you
met
know,
him. That's the point.
Les had a story that was so great that he didn't always tell, and I used to tell Les's story when I was on stage next to him, and I would love to see that, because the way I would tell the audience, I said, right on this stage where I'm standing, Les was sitting there, and this guy came on stage and said, when I was a kid, we had a band, and me and my partner went and auditioned, and the guy said, go home and learn some Les Paul and Mary Ford songs and come back. And we went home and learned some Les Paul and Mary Ford songs and came back, and we got the job. And it was Paul McCartney.
Oh, nice.
Now, that was Les's story, and that was, but that story was told to Les by McCartney.
Right.
Now, I don't know how much he was stroking him or not stroking him or anything, and Les would said, yeah, and Paul was here, and he had just gotten divorced, and I said, Paul, this is Les talking. He said, Paul, you should have You should have knocked on her leg for good luck. Jesus Christ, so funny. Oh my God.
That's I've made
that's
jokes.
him. That's his sense of humor.
Yeah, I've made jokes about that. I was somewhere and I saw her and she tripped and fell. You know, the leg gave out, and I laughed my ass off. And I swear to God, this is true. 6 months later, that's when I got sick, eventually losing mine. I swear to God.
You hadn't lost your leg yet.
Not at the time, no.
Oh, see, God came back and got
he
you.
got me good.
You
Yeah.
saw her
Smacked
fall?
right in the head.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't
laughed because she
trip her.
wasn't hurt. Did I trip her? No, I didn't. If she was hurt, that would have been a different story. But she wasn't hurt. She got right back up, and of course, because that's the prick I am.
Good
But,
for her. Oh, that's crazy. You know, of all the gin joints, he marries a one-legged woman. You know, you'd think a beetle
Could do better than
She's
someone.
a good-looking woman.
9 fingers maybe, but not
Well, then she can't play guitar.
not one leg. Oh God, that's so funny.
You
know, there's a famous story.
I feel like you're just talking like out loud thinking.
Yeah.
There's a famous story
don't have to
about
be
this
here.
comic named Jack Grayman, who was at Catch a Rising Star, and he had just made up a joke and went on stage and told the joke for the first time. And it was a joke that everybody wound up knowing. He said, what do you call a dog with wings? And the answer was Linda McCartney. Because she had joined the band Wings.
Man.
She was sitting in the fucking audience with Rick Newman. She didn't hear about it. She was sitting there. You know, talk about all the gin joints.
And obviously he didn't know she was there. Right?
They had no idea.
You imagine?
No idea.
What was the
That is-
blowback? Anything come of that?
You know what? My good friend John DeBellis, I think he was actually there, and I think Rick was mad at him. But how could you be mad at him? It's something that everybody would have laughed at. What's Linda? And she won with. If she had been with Paul, the whole world would have known that he was there.
Right.
You know, but she was. You know.
Linda, she just left that night. I'm not her.
She was a great woman. She had been she was like a groupie for. I think she banged Leslie West of all the crazy things. She had knocked around for a long time.
Yeah, before Paul. Yeah,
because she took pictures.
Right. She
Yeah,
did.
she
That's
was a
how
photographer,
that's how
right?
the
Rolling
girls got
Stones,
to be.
yeah.
You know, groupies. Yeah, I'll take your picture. You know.
Well, that's where she met Paul. She was taking pictures at a thing. But yeah, Leslie West, another guy who lost his leg before he passed.
A lot of missing limb things today.
Yeah, we better stop talking about it because I've been limping.
Yeah, I don't want to lose anything.
I swear to God, I hurt in different places like every day. You know, I got such a bad knee, and now I got a bad hip, and then this hip hurts, and then this hurt, and I refuse to give into it, and I walk 3 or 4 miles, and then my God, and I'm scared to go to the doctor because I'm scared they're going to X-ray my knee, and they're going to say, "Why don't you just climb in the box?" You know.
Oh my goodness. Well, no, they won't do that yet. I got extra legs
Yeah,
if you want
he
to
does.
borrow one.
They're all lined
Got
up.
them?
The,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw
sure.
a girl
Do
shopping
people tune
yesterday.
into the show to be uplifted? Or
This girl was
Not sensing
shopping
a
and she
theme
had
here.
a fake leg, but she had the matching sneaker. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, you got that right. You know. I mean, put a fucking pair of pants over this thing, you know? I'm looking at like Mr. Robot and a Nike.
It's like the Christmas Story, the lamp.
The what?
The movie, the Christmas Story. Remember that movie,
The
Christmas
lamp.
Story?
I'm the only person that never saw that.
you have to see
What's
No,
that.
the matter?
you never saw that
I met
picture?
this guy.
Why?
Tell me if this is the right movie.
Why?
Why? Like
the kid licks the
Why?
pole and his
Yes.
tongue
Yeah.
gets stuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, Jackie, I'm a big fan, man. I'm so. I said, "Well, nice to meet you." He said, "No, I'm so and so and so and so." I said, "Well, who the fuck is that?" I'm the kid whose tongue got stuck to the light pole in Christmas Story.
What's his
I
name?
said, "What the
was
fuck
his
is that?"
name?
And he was the nicest guy
Not
in
Frick,
the world.
right? No.
Flick.
Flick?
Yeah, but I don't know his name in real life.
He went into porn.
Wow, with that tongue.
Well, now he's a.
Well, I know
now
it
he's a
got
Jesus
stuck
freak.
to my cock that night.
Yeah, right. But
Now
then,
he's a Jesus freak?
But then he got a good watch.
There you go.
Yeah, now he's. Last I heard, anyway, he's a big Jesus freak now. But yeah, but he went into
No,
porn. For
I
a
don't
while.
think. Well, the guy, you know what? I don't even know.
I'm telling you.
All these people. You know who else I met? I met this guy who's the star of Karate Kid. I also never saw Karate Kid.
Ralph
Now the
Macchio,
guys,
right?
No, the other guy who's now a big star.
Oh,
with
on
that-
the TV show.
with the
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, the older guy.
Yeah, the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah, Johnny.
Oh, what's it?
Johnny.
Oh, no, no, Johnny
I don't know
or
anyone's
the
real
old
name.
or the old instructor.
The instructor guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He's a famous actor.
Yeah,
he was
definitely.
He was
I
on
can meet
Cagney
him.
and Lacey.
Yeah.
Why I remember that, I have no idea. But
Why
yeah,
did
he
you
was.
forget about remember? Why did you watch it?
Yeah, it's another one I
and
never
Lacey.
saw.
I was a kid. My mother made me watch that show.
As punishment?
Probably.
You know what? When I was on the Stern Show, those guys that get talking about TV, right?
Uh-huh.
And they talk about the Brady Bunch, or they talk about the Partridge Family or something. And Robin and Howard and Fred and Gary, they knew every episode. They
Right.
knew
Yeah.
everything that happened.
That was our childhood.
And I had no
I knew
idea
a-
what they were
I-
talking about. And they would talk down to me like I was the outsider, like I wasn't a cool kid because I didn't know. And I'm like, you fucking morons. I was
Yeah.
already smoking pot and getting blowjobs while you're home watching the Partridge Family with your mommy.
Right.
You really think I'm left out of this conversation? You're left out of life. Jesus.
So you would know-
how about that episode with Charlie and
You would know
Spring-
who we were talking about if we said the guest coming in today would be George Glass.
Absolutely no. I know Florence Henderson because I made out with her.
Come on.
Did you really?
Yeah?
You know that.
I know. I don't remember hearing that.
I would have remembered that.
She was hot in her day.
Wait a minute. Didn't I do the show 1,000 times?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't recall you ever telling us that story. And even if you did, I'd love to hear it again.
Yeah.
It is the
Yeah.
greatest story. When I start talking, you're going to go, oh, that story.
Nope. How old were you?
3. He just said it. He was smoking pot and making out with Florence Henderson.
I made a bad movie with this guy. And then my friend Tom Bernard from Sony Pictures Classics, his younger brother Paul, now he's doing well. I just watched SWAT the other night because he directed an episode. Him and his partner produced this show and everything. I don't watch those TV shows.
This
but he
is going to be a
directed it,
long
which is a big
story. I
step
can tell
forward.
right now.
That's fine. He's a great character. And one day I get a call from this guy, Louie. And I answer, and hey, Jackie, Louie Morrow. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I said, wait, this is Paul Bernard's phone. And he goes, yeah, I'm calling from Paul. I said, what the fuck are you doing with Paul? He says, oh, we're working on a film together. I'm like, oh, really? Well, that's kind of cool because 2 different worlds. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it wasn't that they were both in the movie industry, so it wasn't a big deal. But you know, Louis
Yeah.
Morrow was in a movie where, you know, I think I chipped in for it. They took my wallet too, you know, and so Paul goes, yeah, we're doing this movie, Venus in Vegas. It's a shame you're not in Los Angeles. I can put you in the movie. I said, I am in Los Angeles.
Oh.
He said, you're kidding. He said, come down to Santa Anita tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah. He says, I'll put you in a movie. So I show up at the Santa Anita racetrack, and I'm Florence Henderson's boyfriend.
Nice.
So in this movie is
Funny.
so many people, all people, the lead guy, Eddie Floyd K. He was in 2 movies where there was a movie and the sequel, and they were both really popular at the time. And I can never think of the name. If I told you, you go, oh, that movie. And the other guy was the black guy from, what's the hospital comedy? Scrubs?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
The black guy from Scrubs. And
He
this
must
other
have been
guy,
young, right?
this other guy,
Yeah.
this young guy named Eddie, who was fucking a woman in Miami, an old rich broad, and she gave him $10 million to make movies, and this was the first movie that they were making. So this guy Eddie, and this guy Eddie K. whatever, and the other guy.
I can't think of it.
But
Eddie-
but all these people are in the movie like that you would recognize. Joe Rogan is in it, and
How long ago was this, Jack?
this is like 2005 or something. So I'm going to be Florence Henderson's boyfriend. And the story is that they're at the racetrack and the main 3 guys are there. So me and Florence are in the background of the scene. And I'm her boyfriend. So we have to make out from every camera angle times 5 or 6 takes of everything. And we sit there and she licks mustard and ketchup off my face and the hot dog and everything. You never saw this? Oh, it was a big deal. It was so fun. And it was,
So
everybody
funny.
was like
She's
freaked out.
licking
Like
stuff
before
off
we
her
had this,
face.
she said,
Sounds
Jackie,
like
you
the
know,
best barbecue I've ever been to.
she said, Jackie, you know we really have to kiss. And I said, yeah, I know that. And anybody that's interested, Venus and with an ampersand, Venus and Vegas, and it's on Amazon Prime for free. And it's also on Tubi. So
you can rent it. You can rent it on YouTube.
And watch-
Oh, Jamie Presley's in it. Molly Sims. Yeah, Joe. Oh, that. All right. Yeah, there's Florence.
Oh, you
Henderson.
found it.
I found it. It's all. Yeah. I don't
know if I
see
made it into the
Trailer.
into this trailer. Yeah.
Maybe not.
What's it called? Venus and
Vegas.
And it's so absurd and so bad. But meanwhile, me and Florence, she says, you know, we really have to make out. And I said, it's cool. So we're making out and we're having a grand old time.
Like making out.
I mean, making out.
Nice.
And they said that it worked so well that I was her boyfriend. They made me the bus driver. The deal was that they stole the mob was making fake computer chips. And these guys broke in and stole all the fake computer chips. And this guy, Eddie's grandmother, Florence Henderson, and all her girlfriends, they were all altacacas, you know, they're all 70-year-old broads. They all go into the casino with Pringle cans loaded with the fake chips. And they have to get to the casino, so they made me the bus driver. So I'm the bus driver, and and I'm helping the ladies off the bus, and the lady gets off the bus with the walker, and I say no racing, no, I'm being funny, and then me and Florence Henderson and her road partner was Eileen Brennan, who's Sean Penn's mother. So I'm here with the broads, and we're at
Eileen Brennan is Sean Penn's mother.
I'm telling you.
Have I got the right Brennan?
Jackie has an encyclopedia.
Eileen Ryan.
All right.
Irene Ryan was Beverly Hillbillies. I always get it's Eileen Ryan. But she was a famous actress, and so they're at the crap table, and it's a whole fun thing because they put me back in, to have more in the movie because it worked really well. So we're in the side room, sitting in our director chairs, getting our makeup fixed up as they're getting the lights set up. They flew me out to the Palms Casino and put me up. I mean, it was treated like royalty for my 3 lines. So meanwhile, word gets out that I'm making a movie with Florence Henderson. And I got an email from the guitar player in my college band. And he goes, Marling, that's pretty wild that you're making a movie with Florence Henderson and you guys had the same birthday. And I said, Wickett, Larry Wickett was his name. I said, it's bad enough it's gay enough for you to remember
Your birthday,
my birthday.
right.
But how the hell would you know Florence? He says, listen, every year on your birthday, my birthday's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
And every year
it's
on
not
your
hard to
birthday,
remember.
you make such a big deal about it so you could get even drunker than normal. So how the hell could we? No, you wouldn't let anybody forget it because you celebrate your birthday for a week. And then one day I'm sitting there watching Mike, what's his name, show?
Mike Brady.
No, what's his name?
Can you be a little more vague?
The horrible afternoon talk show.
Mike Douglas.
He's watching the Mike Douglas show, and Florence Henderson's there, and he goes, "Oh, Florence,
I get the chip now.
Oh, Florence, you're born on Valentine's Day," and she goes, "Yeah," and he said, in my mind, I said, "Oh, same as Martling." And then all of a sudden, here it is, 30 years later, I'm in a movie with her, and he says, "Hey, you guys got the same birthday," so I know that I have the same birthday as her. So I have this information. When am I going to pop it, right?
You've already made out with her. What are you trying to get?
That's all we need to know.
This is further proof to me, not that I need it anymore, that nobody reads my book. Oh, you know what? Oh, maybe this story didn't make it into the book.
I read your book, and it was not in your book.
Oh, maybe
Jack.
this, because there were a lot of stories didn't make it into the book.
No, not at all.
Because the name of this chapter was called Jumping Levels in Show Business, okay? So I'm sitting there between Eileen Ryan and Florence Henderson, and we're having our makeup done. And this was the greatest, stupidest conversation in the world because, Florence is a huge star and an icon, and the other woman's a famous actress. Even she's one of those actresses you see her and you know her, even if you don't know her name, and me. So we're sitting there and they're doing our makeup, and there's a lull. It's just the three of us in this side room. Here's my opportunity. So I go, Florence, we have the same birthday. Oh, you were born on Valentine's Day? I go, yeah. And Eileen Ryan goes, oh, Sean was born on the same day as Robert De Niro. And Florence Henderson goes, really? How is Bobby? And I said, yeah. How is Bobby? I said, all of a sudden, I'm in fucking show business, Yeah, how is Bobby? And of course, I went and looked it up. It's like August 8th, and Sean Penn and Robert De Niro were born on the same day. Isn't that a great story? Oh, God. How is Bobby? How is that?
Jack, I'm going to pitch a movie. How's this sound to you? Okay? Somebody goes and steals drink chips, and they start giving them away on a radio station. Would it be the bus driver?
But you get to make out with Charlotte Ray in the background.
I think that's not a bad idea, and maybe you get 3 people into that shitty restaurant of yours. Roslyn Social. Sounds like a disease. You know that movie they made about the Roslyn school system when the guy stole everything?
Yeah, they filmed it right back here.
Yeah.
And they also filmed it next door to me.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Alice and Janney sitting on a ledge looking out at the water, and that's my next door neighbor's.
Nice.
There's something really sexy about her.
Yeah, she's
Allison
great.
Janney.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You know what it is? She's just ugly enough that you think you'd get to fuck her.
Yeah.
She's not real good looking.
Exactly.
She's not real good looking.
Case cracker.
Yeah.
Now
She's
I
not
know.
real good looking, and she's like 3 inches too tall. So like,
She's a little
and
tall.
you know what? She really is attractive, and that's such a horrible thing to say, but it's that I think I could fuck a thing that gets
Yeah.
it done.
She looks like a good sport. That's it, too.
Well, she got naked on. What was that show she got naked on? The Masters of Sex. That's the name of it. She was married
Is that
to
a movie or something?
No, it's a TV
I
show.
like her on Mom.
Allison Janney wasn't in the Masters of Sex.
She did. She came on, I think, the 2nd or 3rd season. She played Lloyd Bridges' wife, and he turned out to be gay, so he wasn't sleeping with her. And she was trying to.
You got the wrong show.
Lloyd Bridges played the main guy's boss at the hospital. Maybe you have the wrong show.
Masters of Sex about Masters and Johnson.
Yes, and he was doing the experiments, and people were having. He was watching
and
people
you
have
couldn't make
sex.
up your mind how hot that girl was. One minute she was really hot. His assistant that he was banging.
Yes.
And he had a beautiful wife.
Yeah, the blonde. Yes.
And Allison Janney was in that.
TV. She came in. Yeah, she wasn't originally on the show. She came in season 2 or 3 or something.
But I watched it.
Yeah, and she gets married to.
Sarah Silverman got naked on that show. That's who you're talking about.
I'm talking about Allison Janney. I'm telling you. She was married to Lloyd Bridges. Came on the show. He played the guy's boss.
Sea Hunt.
Okay, I have no idea what that means.
I feel like we're playing Password.
Lloyd Bridges
Sea
was
Hunt.
from Sea Hunt from 1958.
Jeff Bridges' brother. Oh no, Bo Bridges. Sorry.
Okay, Bo Bridges.
Sorry.
That's different. All right.
Lloyd's son,
Bo
right,
Bridges
Bo
actually
Bridges.
lived across from me in my apartment when he was doing
Allison Janney.
everything you wanted to know about business. So one of those Broadway shows. He was like right across the hall. Like, hey, baby.
And Allison Janney and Robert De Niro don't have the same birthday. Hey, how is Bobby?
If Allison Janney,
Hey, how is Bobby?
if Allison Janney had been naked, I would have remembered. She was in Private Parts.
Yes.
She was
Yeah,
Denise Oliver in Private Parts.
I love that movie, by the way.
And that's, you know what? That chapter about that making that movie was the best chapter I wrote. And why that is not in my book, I am so flabbergasted because it shows them being cruel to me, being cheap with me not getting the respect I deserve for something I did, and like every complaint I could have ever had about the Stern Show were all contained in that episode, and that it was Sophie's choice. Do I put it in this? Meanwhile, I got me getting drunk in high school.
Well, when it goes
But
paperback, you add
that
this.
was so fun making a movie. Like,
Yeah, but you were saying that
How
you were
about
going
a
to make
second
like a
book,
part
Jack?
two.
well, you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? I've always
Jack, how about a
wondered-
second
I've
book?
always wondered something. The scene in the movie where the girl comes in and gets naked.
Yep.
Okay.
The bathtub, right?
No. When the girl came and got naked on the radio.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was played by Jenna Jameson. It was amazing because we had French service, which meant instead of breaking for dinner or breaking for lunch, which is union, they're allowed, if they have really good food right on through, they don't have to break, because the hours were tough because we were all on the radio and everything.
Right, yeah.
So there was this incredible buffet. And Jenna Jameson would stand there at the buffet just with her bathrobe, and her bathrobe's open, and her twat is right. The cameramen and the gaffers and everything, like they were out of their minds. It was
The cameras are like all over the
hysterical,
place.
you know. In my mind, I could see it dripping, you know. And but I got to sit next to her.
Setting edge for salmon.
Juicy salmon. So I'm sitting next to her for this whole scene. But meanwhile, that scene, that
Jack, I had no idea you were this deep.
that actually happened where the girl got undressed, right? And I've been looking for the goddamn sound clip of that because it was WNBC in like 1984, and I've always, because people always say, do you like the show? Do you listen to the show? What do you think of the show now? Blah, blah. And I always say, listen, I have never listened to the show. I never listened to it when I was on it. I never listened to it during Best Of. I don't listen to it now. It was something I didn't listen to the radio. But in the very, very beginning, when I first met those guys, I would sometimes put it on because I would write ideas for his black helicopter reporter or things like this. And it'd be curious to see, because I would hand him something and he'd look at me like, I don't need your help, you know, and then all of a sudden,
He did.
I hear and when you hear your lines, that puts you in. And I know that I was listening, you know, it's like, where were you when JFK got shot? I know that I know what I heard because I was standing on a stool in my kitchen in our rented house. And the reason I know is because I was fixing something. And I never fix anything. So the chance that I was fixing something when I heard this was so hysterical. And I had on the Stern Show, and this girl came in and said he wanted people to come in and get naked. And I didn't remember, but I guess there were a couple of girls that all showed up at the same time. But he said, you guys want to, do you want to be incognito or do you want to say who you are? And this girl goes, my name is Maria. I work the door at the Comedy Factory outlet in Philadelphia, and my favorite comedian is Jackie Martling.
Nice.
And I almost fell off the stool, and I thought, holy Christ, how random is that? And of course, you switch a topic pretty quick or whatever happened. But there would be no reason for me to invent that. Like, let me make up a story. I was standing on the stool and I heard that. But I've been looking for this tape. And finally, a week ago, a guy says, I found the tape.
Wow.
And here it is.
Wow.
And it's not on there. He said, but give it a listen. And I listened to it. And it's such an obvious edit.
No kidding.
He says, my name is Maria. Oh, and then blah, 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 blah. And, it's not a huge gugum, but you know.
But you know.
And there was a little bit of music going in the
that
background so you could,
sucks.
you know what? What did I do with I got the clip somewhere. I should have isolated the clip. But whether they chopped me out back then or chopped me out recently
Right.
or at whatever point, but I mean, how petty. I mean, but what
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
thing for me, for this girl. And, she was just an odd, and this was 1979 is when I met her, or 1980. And I wasn't banging her or anything. Richard Jenny used to do her, but she was a great chick. And she worked the door. People work the door so they can get to go on stage.
Right,
That's
yeah,
an
yeah.
old thing.
Right.
And what was so funny was the guy in Philadelphia that hated the Stern Show and wrote horrible articles about us I always say us, about him in the Philadelphia Inquirer or the Philadelphia Daily News or whatever. And she wound up married to him.
Oh, wow.
Of all the
Oh, well, that's
crazy things that
crazy.
you could never make up. but she, it wasn't her favorite thing to discuss talking about that. And I could never get any rubber stamp that she said that, and I got no proof of it except that edit.
So you need somebody that has an old cassette.
Even if she didn't
or
say
something.
Jackie Martling, she definitely said Comedy Factory. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah,
she
you
said,
heard the Comedy Factory?
and all of that is not in there. So
Oh,
they
wow.
took out her whole
Yeah, they clipped the whole
sentence.
thing.
And why she would have said that. And meanwhile, she never told, I would have hit on her if I thought she liked me,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm always friendly and fun with
Rich
people.
and Jenny be damned.
No, that was years later.
Yeah, that was after.
Me and him were on the road, and we started. Did you ever work this club? Yeah. You know Charlotte? Yeah. Did you ever work this club? Yeah. You know Andrea? Yeah. That's it. Wasn't like how's the stage? How's the sound system? How's the pussy?
You mentioned.
Well, I remember we were on the road, and Jenny didn't get laid in Atlanta, but he got laid in Columbia twice. He said, "I'm gonna prorate the pussies." Joe, you really got to watch what you talk about here.
Yeah, I can see this. Really.
Yeah.
You mentioned the documentary before. You said it was too late to. Is that done?
It's completely done. I'm sure we could add some. It was so funny because.
Yeah, how could you not add
Of
that
course, we really wanted Artie Lang in it, and then he went to jail, and then he went to the hospital, and then he went to rehab. I'm like, oh fuck. But the documentary took so long that he got cleaned up, he got out and got well, and he's got a huge part in the documentary. You wait long, and we wound up getting Mark Cuban in it.
Nice.
Which is a great score, you know. And we went and got Willie Nelson down in New Orleans, so it's great. But there's so many people that,
When's it coming out?
But it's done, but, we're all dressed up and know where to go. The point of the whole thing was to do it and go to film festivals. And so you could show the documentary and do a
Right.
Q&A because the Q&A is going to be at least as interesting as the documentary for the fans, or if there are any still left. And I think shooting the Q&A will be a sequel to the documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, we could probably get it on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
But there's so much stuff out there. Even if people liked it, it'd be a blip and it'd be gone. I want to get in the car and go around and show it and have people ask questions. Maybe get assassinated, so I go down in history books.
Sure, enjoy it. Do
And
it
then
that
it
way.
becomes
Just wait a
popular.
little.
And then it becomes popular.
Well, right. You build the buzz. I think that would work, and I disagree. I don't think it would be a blip on Netflix.
It's so funny. About 6 months ago, I faked my death, and nobody knew.
Anybody send flowers or anything?
That's that Rod.
I sent drink chips.
Black
not
and
gonna use
white. Black and white. Air freshener. It's good for burying bodies. Jesus Christ.
So Joe. You must be excited. The big day is this weekend.
Yeah.
This big day.
Yeah.
The big
Yeah,
weekend
talk
is
about
here.
that.
And tell me what that is.
The club's opening up
Clubs
this
are
weekend.
opening after a year closed. We were open a little while in the summer for a short time, and then we got closed down.
Now, I got so many ideas I want to talk to you about doing because I really feel like things are going to probably have to change up because what kind of
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
are you allowed to have like a full crowd?
No, 33%.
33%.
33%. Now you know why it's black. And
Like, what, you got to have like 47
Now you know
guys
why
and one guy with one leg?
Now you know why it's black. Yeah, it's a new way to lose money.
33 and a third.
Last month I was able to sit home and lose money. This month I have to go to work and lose money.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's things are looking up. So
at least I'm busy.
It's all so wacky, but there's nothing anybody can do.
It's
It's
a
like
step in the right
business.
direction,
I
you
want
hope.
that.
Yeah, no,
and you
definitely.
want that. One of us gets it, and
It's
the
a
other
step in the right
gets pissed off.
direction. We're
What-
very grateful. And you know what? It's grateful we're putting a lot of Long Island guys back on the stages, working out the rust. Everybody's excited about it. We're excited about it. We become friends with all these, family with all these people. We missed them. We just
Right.
missed the whole thing about people up on stage. The interaction with customers, the interaction with comedians.
Well, yeah, even your staff. I mean, we've talked about it. You guys do something right because the same staff. You
Same
don't have
staff
you don't
been
have
here
a
for years.
turnaround.
Yep.
So even
Same
then,
people come play the clubs all the time.
Right.
I would
absolutely.
love to come in here and do, like, obviously you can't have that big a crowd, but I would love to come and do a show, but make a whole bulk of the show Stump the Joke Man, and that way you could have a screen next to the stage so people could be sending their jokes on the screen as well, because everybody in the audience doesn't.
We
play.
talked. We had Zoom shows. We talked about that. People could have tried to stump you from their living room
in the nude.
Alice and Jenny. We could still put something like that.
Is there a
together.
delay on the?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like 30 seconds or something.
About about
'cause
30.
I thought I was seeing things.
We can still
Probably
do that.
are.
But there's nothing like the reaction of live people. You can
Right.
play with the game with the people, but they want to.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, it's different.
But live comedy is always better. It was
absolutely.
Yeah,
but everybody,
this is magic.
And you didn't get involved in that in the past year. You didn't do any of that Zoom stuff. Well, you did. A little bit, right?
What? I did a couple of. I didn't do Zoom comedy club shows, but I was doing the cameo stuff and stuff like that. I did a bunch of Zoom like meetings and stuff, and they paid me a lot of money. I said, listen, I'll take your money, but if you have 8 people, 10 people, and then 8 or 10 more on the next screen, or 8 or 10 on the next screen, after I did 1 or 2 of them, I said, listen, I will tell you the truth. I will take your money, but it's hard to keep people's attention. And you probably want the people to keep their mics on because you want them to react. And after a couple of minutes of jokes and fooling around, you entertaining as you might want to be, like if it's Harry's life insurance, maybe a lot of them are huge fans, but a certain amount aren't. And somebody's ordering a pizza, and somebody's yelling at his dog, and somebody's screaming at his wife. There's no focus, and so I just changed it. Unless it's something like a couple of them I've done that are, were stellar. Because the guys were so into it, and wanted to know. It wasn't doing comedy as much as where'd you come from and how'd you do what you did, and I love talking about that crap. But
that's where I think at this
I think
stage
it's
of your
just-
career you shine.
I agree.
Stories,
Yes.
and I always said one of
Yep.
the best storytellers I've ever been around.
Right.
and I love it, and I love getting on these. I did one last night, 2 nights ago, with Steve Longo, who was a drummer in a band called Rat Race Choir from
Yep.
the 70s.
Yeah, then they
And
played
he
with
played with
Entwistle.
John Entwistle,
Yeah.
and he had been on the same tour. I was on Walk Down Abbey Road for like a year or two, sporadically, because my friend produced it, and it was Stars playing one of their songs, and then playing a Beatles song.
Yeah, Mick Fleetwood was a part of that, right?
He wasn't there the year I was there, but this guy, Steve Longo, was on the year with John Entwistle and people like that. And I was on with like Todd Rundgren, Jack Bruce, Mark Farner, Alan Parsons, and Christopher Cross. And it just was, so much fun. So I'm talking to Steve Longo, who we played, we spanned back decades. It wasn't Do You Know from last year. It was Do you remember this guy from, and God, it was so, I question how interesting it is to the average person, but he had a lot of people listening. They were all so into it, but they're all people that knew him from over the decades, because I guess, I don't know if he's a famous drummer, but he's a pretty popular local personality.
Yeah, locally, Rat Race Choir was big.
They were huge. They were the loudest.
I don't know about his name itself, but definitely the band.
And but it's so much fun, and when the stories branch out from the comedy stories to the music stories and they're just the wild shit that happens. But it never gets old. None
And
of
you
it.
tried it though, didn't you? Try doing some show where you had pictures on a screen and stuff? Because that's what I'm seeing.
I did that.
I'd love to see that.
I would love to see that.
It was such a killer. John Blenn, you guys know John.
Yeah,
Blenn.
know John Blenn well.
So he
Sure.
was, I think, entertainment director of whatever it's called, Dix Hills Entertainment. It was the
Five Towns.
Five
Yeah.
Towns.
Right, Five Towns or
Five
something
Towns
like that.
Is
College.
that what you're wearing?
And it was like
Actually, it is,
Dix
yeah.
Hills
Five
Entertainment
Towns.
Conglomerate, whatever. But it was a goddamn auditorium. But I went and bought one of those Sony things that's a projector, and you hook your laptop into it, and I bought a huge screen. Like, my nephew has it now. He shows movies in his backyard, like 20 by 12 or something like that.
Right.
And had that on the stage behind me. And I learned PowerPoint just enough to do it. And I had like 30 or 50 pictures loaded in. No rehearsal. And I played a couple songs. And then I said, all right, JC, my guy worked with me. He put up a picture. And I talked about the picture. And then when I ran out of breath, he put up another picture. And like, we had like 500 or 600 people, whatever that held, but it was sold out. It was so much fun, and it was such a killer. And I don't know why I didn't follow up with it.
Follow up on it. Keep doing them.
Jack, why didn't you follow up with it?
But it was so interesting because the way PowerPoint worked, it's like you could put a small video file.
Right.
So when you put it up there, if he pushed a button, it would play. But the most memorable thing about the whole thing is like, this is Zippy the Chimp, and then my friend owns Zippy the Chimp, and blah, 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 and this is my high school band, and blah, 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 we got drunk and did this, and this is college, blah, 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 blah. And this my original note system, and it was interesting to people, or at least they said it was. And all of a sudden there was a picture, this gets me every time, there's a picture of my mother when she was like 18 years old. And I said, well, this is Dot. This is where it all started. And I got a fucking lump in my throat.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I said, and I have tape of this. I said, you know, you guys, I got 50 pictures. I got songs. I got jokes. I am so prepared for this. But I wasn't prepared for emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I had a lump in my throat. I mean, my mother battled and battled and battled, but she was brilliant and so fucking funny. And I'm looking, and I really, you know, when you have that lump in your throat, it's like
yeah.
The more you think about it, you know,
The worse it gets, and you got to catch yourself again.
and it was just such a real. I was like, holy Christ, Martin, do you have feelings? where have they been? You know, but it was great, and it was such a fun show. And then I did it one other time somewhere, and it's so easy, and now it's even easier. You know the problem is that's what scares me is, but I don't have to tell you guys. I never get sick of telling my stories, and everything isn't for everybody. So you should tell your jokes and tell your stories, and then chop them down to what works. But that's too much of a heartbreak. That's why I tell jokes on stage. I don't tell my stories or tell what I think, in my life, because if people didn't laugh at that. That would, I don't care if they don't laugh at my jokes. If you don't laugh at my life,
I think at this stage your life is
very interesting,
and
right.
should be told. I've said it all the time.
And even so, what if they're not laughing? So what if you're getting choked about your mom? That's part of the allure of the show.
Yeah, people love that.
Because most people do have feelings, so they'll identify.
Yeah,
with
I mean, when we came to Governors, all we heard was Jackie Martling.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
That's all you heard.
I gave you
Growing
gave
up.
me the flyer promoting the very first show here. I gave that to you. I framed it. And then,
I sent my documentary to the guys from Sony Pictures Classics, and they said, "Listen, when this is done, you're probably sitting on something pretty good here."
Yeah.
And Tom's assistant said, "All that crap in your garage."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "That should be in a library somewhere."
Remember, we said that when we were there.
I said a museum.
I worry about that stupid
I don't
garage.
know how
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get a
interesting
fire
or
or
not
something.
interesting it is. But you wouldn't believe, since I saw you guys, did I tell you what I uncovered? I don't.
In your garage?
Last year.
Hoffa?
You know what? Better than that asshole. All those loose leaves.
Yeah.
That are sitting there.
Yeah, the binders. Yeah.
And they got all the crap in them, and I would write jokes and put Sternak and the different stuff, and I have like 6 books.
Jack, you got to tell people about that when you were passing notes to Stern, and then you had the guest sign it. That would be my favorite book to be in.
Mm-hmm.
With those notes?
With those, when
Yes.
you passed a joke to Stern, and then after the show, you had the guest sign
Hold on.
that.
Let me tell you this, and then we'll discuss that, because
It's a
that's
great
very
idea.
interesting. So
That's my favorite.
These loose leaves, I don't. Maybe this is old news to you guys, but I open up the loose leaf and I'm like, holy crap! Because I know I save everything, right? the way we used to stop me if this is old news, because you lose track. I haven't been here in a long time. The way we would write when I first joined the show, when we first went to mornings, because after a certain amount of years, we stopped doing bits. There were very few song parodies and very few bits because he wouldn't play them.
Right.
We'd do all this work, play it. And he just couldn't stop talking. And he loved the sound of his own voice. And it was as entertaining as it had to be. Why, take the focus off himself to play something that me and Fred wrote, and or the three of us wrote. But when we started, for the first year or 2 or 3 or however long, I have 6 loose leaves of this. I'd sit here, and Fred's sitting here, and Howard's sitting there. We'd get off the show, and we would write. And we'd say, how about we do a bit on such and such? Oh, that's good. And Howard would write down, Amos and Andy meet Giuliani, And then we'd say a line. Oh, yeah, and he'd write down a line. How about this? And he would only write down what he liked. Or if he came up with a song parody idea, oh, that's a good, yeah, let's do that. Blah, blah, blah. And I think that story is in the book about don't edit. You remember that story? Because we're doing, do you remember there was a bagel guy that wound up with Cher?
Yeah. Yes.
Cher was dating a bagel guy from Queens. And we got to do a song parody about that, right? So,
okay.
Of course, we're going to do I Got You, Babe, which is this classic Sonny and Cher song. So it's like, I Got Cher, Babe, right? And it's going to be Rob Camilletti singing, which is Fred.
Yeah. That was his name.
Fred as this guy from Queens. And we start coming up with ideas for the song. And as we're coming up with ideas, Howard's writing down what he likes. And he's writing down what he likes. And as we're doing this, all of a sudden I go, no. And he said, what? I said, no. He said, what do you think of that? I said, it's too stupid. I was still kind of new to these, not brand new to these guys, but, the classic, you say something really stupid, nobody listens for the next 3 days, So they said, no. He said, what are you thinking? And I said, it's too stupid. And he said, well, tell me. I'll be the judge. And we're writing the parody to I Got You, Babe. And there's a B section, the middle section.
Yeah,
of the
the
song.
bridge, yeah.
Yeah, right, the bridge. I got flowers in the spring. I got you to wear my ring. And when I'm sad, you're a clown. I could
We didn't ask
share
you to
my
sing it.
love around. It's a whole long bridge. And halfway, at the second half of the bridge, I wrote,
I would have let him go.
and the second half of the bridge wrote, I see London, I see France, I saw Cher in her underpants, which is so childish and stupid. And Fred and Howard fell down, and it wound up being the line of the song that just absolute fucking killer. And he said, don't ever edit. And that's what
you don't
made
know,
the show, because Fred was from Pluto, and I was stupid, and Howard was, we had 3 different senses of humor, and it was just fucking classic. But the point being that all these bits I have in those loose leaves in fucking Howard's handwriting.
Right. Yep.
Which has got to be a collector, and not to me, not to you, but to a, somebody
To a Stern
somebody who
fan.
likes to have somebody's
Right.
autograph.
Right.
Stern fan.
Having
or-
the original.
How about just Howard himself?
And what got me
You
when
would
we
think he would want that.
Right. And what got me, though, it was in
No,
perfect condition, too. You had it, everything is just in its right place.
I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
where you would take something like that, because if somebody was a big enough fan, like any kind of art, you see a piece of art, it's a piece of shit, and somebody just paid $84 million for it, and calling me stupid,
But you can even have a book of all those notes. They're not even
Right,
the
and
originals.
just put-
People
they
would
may
get
not
it.
even be the
Meanwhile,
original people to buy it.
I have
Right,
all
right.
those. I have 120 notes that are signed by different people.
I love that. I love this.
Yeah.
Which
I
are
love this idea.
so random that you could not sit down and write that list of names.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't write down a name and say that one doesn't fit in there. And I've become very good friends with the guys with the biggest printing company in Philadelphia, who have told me they will print it for free. And it's going to be. I haven't done it, but like a Mad Magazine type book is how I see
Right,
it. Right.
yes.
And like
Right.
the note here,
Right.
with the sign, like I have one in my in my phone. It's like the note with with somebody's like Geraldo's signature, and then on the left a paragraph about what happened,
The backstory,
what's
right.
going on.
Right.
Not a chapter,
Right.
but a quick thing.
The perfect coffee table book.
People will love. I agree with
It
Joe.
would
People
be
will love
such
that.
a classic,
God,
and I
yeah.
just haven't. I don't know why I haven't done it yet.
You have to
But
do
what
that.
an ideal thing! Like if I went around with my documentary,
Right.
that's the perfect thing to sign.
That's the perfect thing to
Perfect
sign.
thing to sign.
Absolutely.
So, well, I didn't do it yet.
Or even like bigger
I got
than.
it. I didn't spend all my money yet, but I know I'm never going to make enough money to put me in the next strata of what I want to do, and I got just enough money that I'm not going to lose the strata I got. So I'm not every time I go to hey, make this book, do this, I'm like, sit down, relax, which is so terrible. If I had 3 interns working with me, I could make $1 billion. Just saying, and they would have so much fun if they were like
Do
young
this, do
comedians
that,
or
do this,
something.
yeah.
But
So why don't you put it out there?
exploitation
I'm
is
sure
weird.
there's young comedians that want to work with you.
I would just hate that people think I'm taking advantage of anybody. But now that the fog is lifted, how will we? Do you have an open mic night?
Sure.
I'll come to open mic nights.
Yeah.
All right. Who can type? Who can spell?
We got the comedy classes. Yeah, there's
Comedy
there's
classes.
young comedians coming through all the time.
Yeah, I can name
There would be
10 young guys.
and I tell them
We know 10 young guys that deserve a break.
I'll give you
Or deserve to be tutored by you.
I'll give you 20% of whatever we make. Just the shit is sitting there waiting to be milked. I got a crate of cassette tapes of the Stern Show. I mean, right off the radio. I'm sure they still play. I just have all this crap. I'm just. It's still just such fun. My God, it's still fun. I can't believe. I really can't believe the staying power. You wouldn't believe I get texts and not texts. I get emails from people. You would think that I left the show yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I guess because of all the reruns and stuff like that.
And
People
most,
say that they've cut out a real lot of the stuff with me and Billy and stuff like that. So I don't know who's, but I guess a lot of the stuff is that they replay on the show maybe is cut out. But the stuff that's on YouTube, they can't.
Oh, they
get rid
can't
of.
cut out.
Yeah, they can't
get
touch
rid
it.
of that.
And
They
I think
say all that Channel 9 show and all that stuff is still
and that's the thing. Almost everybody considers that the height of
Of
his
the Stern Show,
right?
without
Of
a
his
doubt.
and as
right.
time goes on,
Yep.
the 1927 Yankees get better and better and better. You
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, it's like any classic band. When they want to see a reunion, if that was the case here, that you would be a part of that.
I probably told you this story, but if I haven't, people say nice things, and you never get sick of, Mark Twain said he could live for 30 days on a good compliment. And people say nice things, but one of the ones that just has stayed with me, a guy wrote to me a long time ago and said, Jackie, I started listening to the Howard Stern Show in 2007 and immediately loved it. I was so drawn to it. And then they played more and more of the older shows. I listened to them and I wound up going back and finding them and listening to them. And he said it's like having a new favorite band and then discovering that their earlier albums were much better.
Right.
Nice.
Yep.
How great an analogy.
awesome.
I mean, that's not putting the show down. It's just saying,
Yeah.
I love the Three Stooges, but they were much better with Curly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Shemp my ass.
or Curly Joe, all that bullshit.
Curly Joe.
Well, all right, so switching gears.
So how are we going to make money?
Well, we got to get
I
the interns.
definitely want to do
We gotta
something
get
here
the
on that
interns.
stage. We'll figure something
Okay.
out. I don't know what. Are you going to be open one night a week or? 100?
No, we're open. We're allowed to be open as many nights as we want at 33%. We have the outdoor, we have the indoor, we have the
No,
little
people are
room.
allowed to eat, drink,
and be merry.
and how like you say, all right, we can fit X amount of people. I can fit 300 people, so I'm allowed to have 100 type thing.
Yeah, 33% of the occupancy that you have, and you set them 6 feet apart. And we have HEPA filters. We have
Oh yeah,
UV
they've done
lighting.
it right in here. We got it in here.
Yeah,
We got.
we have that's like an office HEPA filter, but we have HEPA filters in front of our heating and air conditioning. So we're prepared to open when we're allowed to open at full strength. But right now we're grateful. We're here, and everybody's looking forward to coming back. We got a great lineup Friday night. All 5 headliners.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Joey, Chris Monty, Chris Roach, Kevin Downey Jr., and Chris. Who did I leave out? Shit.
I don't know where you started.
Joey, Chris, Roach, Downey Jr., and Mick Thomas. Great lineup.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What are you doing?
That's way too much show.
Well,
that's
start with a bang.
That's like
people back.
That's like putting 17 infielders.
And we wanted to get Long Island comics out there again. It's to us. It's not only a business. It's
right.
This
No,
is
I
an
know, it's
institution.
camaraderie. I know.
Plus you. I mean, you practically started this place, so you can imagine the institution that this place is and the responsibility we have for it. I talked to hundreds of people. They say this was our first date. I asked my wife to marry me after we saw a good show.
Is that true?
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's
good. It's amazing the impact that our clubs have had on Long Island.
Hey, think about all the names that are associated with it.
To open at 32%, we would have paid them to open Friday. Because you
That's
talk
good.
to
It's
comedians.
fun. It is fun. It's fun. And I was just
And
being an
they're
idiot,
rusty,
but-
and and they just haven't done anything. And people are they have to be creative. If they're not creative, they die.
And it's really a great weekend. You got John Joseph out at McGuire's this weekend.
Yep, Olga Nema.
Eric Haft is playing.
No, isn't this Easter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Good Friday. So.
Perfect, though.
The club's resurrected.
Exactly.
It rates itself, right?
But families are in town, they're getting together. Maybe they'll hit the club. Oh, and don't forget, Wednesday, April 21st. Sold out, by the way.
I'm impressed.
Okay, I'll bite.
Me.
Doing what?
Doing stand-up in the room. It's part of the class, John Truson's class.
You bought all the tickets?
It's 33% occupancy. There's 8 people allowed.
I know.
Still sold out.
It was sold out. all 8 people.
Doesn't matter. It's sold out.
Tell Truson I said, hey.
I will.
I will.
We have his class. We're having a few refresher classes next week. Getting ready for the 21st.
You think any of the people from his class would be interested in
Yes,
working
absolutely.
with me?
I just saw one fellow, Adam Snare.
But Adam's moving though, so
He's moving down to Florida,
Yeah.
but he's a bright
They
guy.
get a lot of fucking help in Florida.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Adam. One more reason to stay here, Adam.
Adam, I'm trying, pal. You're moving to Florida. What can I tell you?
Yeah, put it off for a year. You'll have enough money to buy yourself a mansion down
You
there.
would have no problem getting some help with
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
No doubt in my mind.
None.
I'm so scared I'll do it and I'll just kick myself up and down for not doing it sooner.
Yeah.
Because it's all simple. I mean, I got so much crap in my computer and here and there. It just needs to be. The whole thing with the putting that book together. There's nothing to that. I can write those paragraphs in an afternoon. The notes are already there. They're
Right.
so much fun. And everybody I've mentioned it to, Nancy, my ex-wife, every 5 minutes, like, how could you have not done that book yet? What the fuck is wrong?
Well, you started
Just
telling me
because it would be fun. Forget about making money.
Right.
Well,
right.
get going on it now because people aren't able to do anything else. Like now's the time. Don't wait another year when people.
I think
are
that would be
doing
the first
stuff.
thing. Would be that
Like-
book.
Like
yeah.
not to be
I
a dick,
just
but
went
what were you
and
doing all last year?
I went and had dinner with this guy. It's crazy this guy, Steve, owns this huge printing company. His boss, his partner, whatever you'd call him, of course, started his printing company in his garage, right? And now it's worth like
Right, the
$1 billion.
proverbial American dream.
But I went to see their place, and they took me to the print place, and we walked into this room, and then this room, and the last room, I am not exaggerating, there is a printing machine the size of a football field.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And I'm not making
Wow,
it
what
up.
did they
I'm like,
print on that?
what? And you know, they have a roll of paper. I don't know if that's what that machine particular, but there's a roll of paper, and on the other end of the room is a magazine. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like here's the sand, and they make it into a little vial, and then they put in the vaccine, and then over here, you know what I mean? It's like how the fuck. I have no idea how stuff works, but they rolling. So I went down there to have dinner with them the other night because a friend of his got lung cancer, and he was speaking to her doctor, and my name came up, and he said, "Oh yeah, me and Jackie are friends," and the doctor freaked out. So I went down there to Philadelphia and had dinner with, you know, the top cancer doctor in Philadelphia and all these guys. You know, these guys that are so ridiculously successful, and they're like, oh wow, you know, we're like, you know, we're kind of uptight being around somebody we admire so much. I sleep late and I tell cock jokes. You guys are saving lives. What planet are you from? But that's
Again, we're talking about my Aunt Angie.
You know, I remember reading about Groucho years ago. He heard that T.S. Eliot wanted to meet with him, and he was like, what am I going to talk to T.S. Eliot about? Jesus Christ, but he wants to meet with I'm not going to say no. And he went to lunch with T.S. Eliot, and they talked about the Marx Brothers for 3 hours.
Wow.
You know, you don't, you know, when you're outside of somebody's playing field, it's interesting to them, you know.
Right, yeah.
Right.
You know, when the first time I went to the Friars Club with not with Henny Youngman, I went to the Friars Club with Henny Youngman, and then I wanted to join. And I came back, I guess to have lunch with Freddie Roman or something. And there was a four-top in the dining room, and sitting at the four-top was Henny Youngman, James Michener,
oh wow,
the author, and Stan Musial.
Nice.
And I just remember saying to myself, what would I give to be in that fourth seat? Just to see what the fuck are they? And it turned out it wasn't that odd as you'd think, because I guess Michener and Musial were both from St. Louis. So it wasn't quite as random, you know, but still it was like, you know, that's when you put oil and water together, that's when you really have fun, you know.
Well, yeah, and speaking of which, today's opening day. Thanks for the segue.
That's great.
Do we care?
I
care.
In the 50s, I could name every Yankee. It was funny. My rich friend Juice took me to a ball game a year or two ago, and we're sitting there. And I said, when did Bob Turley become Asian? Because I had sat in those same seats with my father when he had Graft tickets from Liz and Company Asphalt, and number 19 was Bob Turley, and I'm looking at number 19, and he's from the same angle, but it's an Asian guy pitcher. I said, when did Bob Turley become Asian? So funny. But I was crazy Yankee fan. My father never expressed himself, very rarely told a joke. He was very quiet, and I came across a poem. He was born in 1913, so at 14 years old, he sat down and wrote a poem about the 1927 Yankees.
Wow.
It is the worst piece of shit. But for a 14-year-old kid to be motivated enough to sit down and write a poem, that's how big a fan he was.
Sure.
Of the and God knows, I'm sure they got to. How did they get to Yankee Stadium from here back then? Yep. But I know they got there. But by hook or by crook, I'm sure they got on the train, got on the subway, whatever. But holy Christ, it's so interesting. But it's always interesting. I still love the Yankees. I couldn't tell you anything about them.
It's always been a glue between father and son, a father and daughter.
Yeah, and my father was. My father's uncle was a huge politician. My father's uncle was Eisenhower's campaign manager. He's National Republican chairman. And back in the 50s, Nassau County was like the 49th state. It was solid Republican. And my father was deputy superintendent of highways. So they had to hire somebody for the asphalt and for the cement and for this. And so they'd take him to lunch and take him to dinner and get him drunk. That's business. That's how it worked. Mm-hmm. And we would every year. When you're a kid, you don't know that everybody doesn't get to go to the World Series every year. The Yankees won almost every year. We got, didn't always win the World Series, but went to the World Series. We went to Ebbets Field and Yankee Stadium in 1955, and then 1956 we went to a couple of World Series games almost every year. Like every year was a thing where I'd have to walk in and tell the principal, "Listen, I'm not going to be in school tomorrow.
I have to go to the World
going
Series."
to the World Series, It was like
really sorry,
but it was like
I have to go
so
again.
common sense, and it was very weird because we went to 2 games in 1956, and we went to like the game before and the game after the games that were at Yankee Stadium, but we weren't there for the Don Larson game.
Oh, God!
Wow. So the joke about that is it's 1956 World Series and Don Larson's pitching, and he calls Yogi out to the mound, and Yogi Berra comes out and says, "What's up, Don?" And he says, "Yogi, you got to do me a favor. You got to button up your fly. I'm getting mixed signals." Which is
That's
so
classic. That's great.
So much fun. A friend of mine, he passed away, but he was a producer, and he produced the Yogi Berra video for Yogi's website, and the Yogi Berra video for I guess at the Hall of Fame. They must have a little video about each person.
Sure. Yeah.
And in the course of working with Yogi did specifically 3 yogis. Those yogi things that he says.
The yogi
that weren't the ones that you
yogi-isms.
see in the newspaper or that you've read everywhere. They're ones that he actually said weird things. And he told me, and I've never forgotten him. He said, I thought Cher was really good in that Moonstruck. I think she got the Golden Glove for that. And he said, when Don Larson was pitching that perfect game, I'm telling you, in the late innings, Yankee Stadium was as quiet as a pin. And the other one was like, and he said, I don't know Hank Bauer. He played 18 seasons. I don't understand it. He smoked like a fish. And they all sound right till you think about it, and they're not right, but they make perfect sense on some level. And those are classic. And that guy's dead, so now they're my stories. So it's so much fun going to. I'm sure every kid remembers that first time when you go in the stadium and you walk down the cement walk and come up and see that fucking green.
Yep.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
I could cry just thinking about it. It's just amazing shit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it
shit.
makes me think of my father every time you think of the Yankees.
Unbelievable.
Is there any topic you don't have a story about? It's like you could just say anything and let them go. I don't mean that as an insult.
No, I'm afraid to ask.
It's just to me it's amazing to me. And it's all great stories and it's all entertaining.
There's an encyclopedia up there, and
That's fun.
I could listen to him for hours.
Absolutely.
We went to lunch one time. 4 hours past up in Bayville? I didn't even know 4 hours was past.
We did that the first
was
time.
I never shut up.
The first time he invited us to his house, we went there. We were there for 3 hours. He said, "Come for lunch." So we were like freaking starving because we never had lunch.
It was. I never. I never noticed how much time
I didn't have
a
a chip.
That's it. When you run into chips, you got to go home.
It's true. We were all gonna go out to eat, and then Jackie said, "Go, just come on inside, and we'll talk at the table." But then like there wasn't any food. It was like 17 hours later, and
but it was worth it.
And I was
we
like,
had so much fun.
I'm gonna start eating my fingernail skin.
I warn people. I said, do not give me a fresh pair of ears. Oh my god!
But it was great.
Oh, it was great. Like
It
you
was
said,
awesome.
and we could have stayed another 3. I mean,
I'm
just
telling you,
all the
passed
stories, all the laughs.
4 hours went by like 40 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great fun.
So and we appreciate.
And everybody's been yelling at me for like years and years to get a podcast. But you know what? It's too dangerous because I love my stories, but to sit and just tell them, I would climb. It's too self-aggrandizing. But I can go on somebody else's podcast and talk, and I'm a good podcast.
I've said this
guest.
to you all the time. People want to hear you.
Absolutely.
But
and why is that bad? Talking so much about your with your stories, you make it sound like it's a bad thing.
And I'm so set up at my house that all I have to do is put a little table there and sit there and start yakking. Oh, barbers all over me all the time. Why don't you,
I mean,
and I love going on podcasts with these guys, like young guys, and I don't care about politics because I just, like I call into Mark Simone. We couldn't be more diametrically opposed. Like he's so far up Trump's ass, and I just would like to be up Trump's ass with a fucking machine gun. But we go back 40 years, so we tell jokes.
If the CIA is listening, he was only kidding.
It's got, it has nothing to do with anything. Like laughing is the bottom line.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
But and even if you just recorded them, then
But I never dawned on me. If you were sitting there telling stories, and then you look up and somebody says, "Oh, was that around the same time as such and such?"
Right,
and
right.
boom, I'm off.
And then you can have people call in, and it just would take on a life of its own. It would be that Q&A documentary once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And that too.
And I would listen. I have the attention span of a flea. I really am. Real Gemini. Bored in between a sentence. I get bored while I'm getting bored, and I can listen to you for hours.
And I think that would be the allure too. People would be able to actually call in and talk to them, whether they want to stump you.
Now,
or
how
ask
hard
questions.
is it to set up a deal like this?
Just have to walk in here, Jack.
Yeah.
Right.
Seriously.
Me and Sallie.
Walk in here.
That's
You tell me I can do it here?
Yeah.
We've been asking you for how many years.
Really? But every time we ask you, you start telling us about Flores Henderson.
I knew you had heard that story before. You were jerking me off the whole time. Oh, I love that.
But they loved it, and that's the whole point.
How the fuck could I possibly believe you hadn't heard that before? I really. You
But
could
that's
tell
the
by-
beauty of it. We love hearing this stuff, even if it's not for the first time.
Right. I can hear you.
Thank God I tell the truth. People say to me, I heard you interviewed about the Stern Show 20 years ago. You said the same shit. I'm like, that's what happened.
That's what happened.
You know,
Right.
don't change that. It's
And you're
like-
making fun of us about the Brady Bunch. I mean, those are all reruns that we all watched. Well, everybody except you. We all watched them 10 times over, and we loved it. It's the same thing. We love hearing the stories.
Oh, that's so funny.
And
now I can never tell you another story.
But that's the thing. Even in the midst of a story we have heard, there's still new ones mixed in too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And ones you haven't told us, and ones I think.
Yeah, it's
I mean, look, they're all saying it.
Yeah. And again, even young comedians may want to get tips, might want to hear it. There's a fellow, Adam Snake, said he was a graphic designer.
Yeah.
He said he would make your book look great. He's a young comedian.
There you
Yeah,
go.
he's new.
He's going to
only-
Florida.
Yeah, that's the guy moving to Florida.
We're just showing you there's people out there. I bet you Adam would still want to do it though, even going to Florida.
Those notes are so random.
They're
It's so funny because I pull them out. What's her face? That nut from California threw her hat in the ring to run for president for 3 seconds. That Marianne Williamson.
Oh.
Also, I pull up her autograph.
Wow.
And there was some insult about it.
Right. And just some of the jokes that are just,
Right.
some of the comments in there, just tremendous.
I mean, whether it's people who want to hear your stories, the Stern fans who want to see his notes to it, the people who, whether it's a Williamson
Right.
or a baseball player, you have all different genres of fans who would get this book.
Even if you interspersed a couple of those notes with some of the signed comments.
Right.
Every other page was a Stern note or a signed comment.
There's no downside.
No, not at all. I've been saying this since we met.
Feeling a lot of pressure?
No, I mean, I love the idea.
Yeah, see, Adam's all over this. He still wants to do it.
So who needs to be here?
In this room?
If I'm going to do
Sallie.
Just me and you?
Behind
me and you, baby.
Every man is a successful man is a woman.
There is no downside.
Behind every
She's
woman,
talking about your penis.
Behind every woman is me.
And no downside, yeah. Except your backside.
Do it, Jackie. We could listen to you for hours. All of them.
Do you know about the nun hitchhiking? And the guy pulls over and says, "You want to ride, sister?" And she says, "Yeah." He says, "You can hop in the back seat." She says, "No, I'll get in the front seat." She gets in her front seat. and she reaches over and pulls down a zipper and sucks his cock.
It's a good joke for Easter.
and
wait, I'm going to write this down and tell it on Sunday. Hang on.
And the guy's like, holy mackerel, sister, I'm Catholic, and that's a, Jesus. When are you going to tell the girls back at the convent that you did today? She said, well, I'm the daughter of the Lord. I tell the truth. I'm going to say I was out for a walk and I was tired and I decided to try and get a ride, and I put out my thumb and you picked me up, and I got in the front and sucked your cock, and then you put me in the back seat and fucked me in the ass, unless you're not into that. Unless you're not into that. Boy, you did not see that coming. You just did not see that coming. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's a little naughty for Easter.
Imagine at church, Father Flaherty. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Marling is here.
Jackie Marling is here for Easter.
All right. And with that, I guess it's...
you know
it's
about
pretty much
Jesus
done,
and Moses at the poolside? They're retired poolside. And Jesus says, Moses, I wonder if we still got it. Moses says, yeah, I wonder if we still got it. Jesus says, give it a shot. So Moses stands up at the end of the pool and goes like this. And the pool opens up, separates. He's like, holy mackerel. Go ahead, Jesus, see if you still got it. So Jesus goes to walk across the pool, and he sinks. And Moses says, I guess just something went wrong. Jesus, he goes, I forgot about these fucking holes in my feet.
Oh, man.
There's an Easter joke.
There's an Easter joke.
There's a worse one than that. When
There's a worse one than that.
Oh, good.
Me and Joe both look at each other like,
good. My grandmother might still be alive.
Jesus on the cross, and all those guys are down below, and Jesus frees up his hand, and he puts his hand down, and next thing you know, he comes all over everybody, and they're like, Jesus, I can't believe you got free and you whacked off all over everybody. He says, no. He says, I put my hand down to cover myself and forgot about the hole in my hand. Same joke.
Well, I think one time he was here, he was telling, remember the Nazi jokes? And there were all sorts of Nazi jokes and going on that day.
That's all stupid stuff.
All right, well, with that, to get you right in the mood for a Good Friday tomorrow, right? There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie the Joke Man Marling.
Are we done?
We're done. It's been almost 2 hours. You want to keep going? We can keep going. You good?
Got enough of you.
I figured. Try being Sallie.
What? So we should talk about this?
Yes. I say it all the time.
But somebody's got to open the place up. Somebody's got to turn on.
Yeah, that's me.
It's all her, man.
We are all set
And this goes out live?
This is live right now.
Right now.
But then
Joe
does it
Norris
stay?
is watching.
You can, then you can watch the replay. Once it's done, it's always there. This is the Facebook page. It's on YouTube also, and govsradio.com. It's always there. So you can watch it anytime. Yeah.
So people can always watch me tell
Always
this
watch
horrible Jesus joke.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to replay it on Sunday.
Gather the family around.
Gather the family around. Wheel grandma over.
Yeah.
Get the kids.
As soon as Joe's sick of
It's
everyone in his
catechism,
life.
guys.
Yeah, when I want everybody to leave. Wait, come here. Hold on a
When
second.
it's time for
Buddy of mine's
everyone to
gonna tell a few jokes.
You know about the kid outside the funeral parlor and he's crying his eyes out? And a lady comes along and says, what's the matter, son? He says, Sherry, my old man's in there in the box. My old man's dead.
I don't know why I'm already laughing.
Yeah. I'm watching you already
Something's
laugh.
The
wrong
lady
with
says,
you.
oh, son, I'm so sorry. So would you like me to call a priest? He says, nah, sex is the last thing on my mind.
That's fantastic. That's so funny.
That's so wrong. You know about
Love
the
that
kid?
one.
He's Father. He goes to the confession. He says, Father, I don't know what to do. All I do is jerk off. I jerk off. I wake up, I jerk off, and then I jerk off before lunch. After lunch, I jerk off all afternoon. I jerk off. After that, I jerk off. That's all I can't stop jerking off. So, son, say a Hail Mary and Our Father, and go sit in a pew out there. I think I should probably have a talk with you. And he goes out there, and there's a woman out there, and she's got a box of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies, and she puts them down. She comes in and says, Father, forgive me, I use the Lord's name in vain. He says, well, say an Our Father. He says, and Father, I think I should tell you, I made you some freshly baked, homemade chocolate chip cookies. I brought them for you. He says, that's wonderful. And they walk out of the confessional, and there's the box with top open, and the box is empty. And he looks at the kid and says, where's the cookies? He says, I ate them. You ate the cookies? Yeah, I ate the cookies. Why'd you eat the cookies? I had nothing to do. The priest says, why didn't you jerk? This is fun.
It is fun.
It's always fun when you're in it. We appreciate
it. What a guy.
All right, there it is. Jack and the Joke Man, Martley. Joe Coletto, thank you, pal, for hanging out with us.
I apologize. Where am I looking into here?
Which one is on, babe?
Yeah, go ahead.
That one. Yep, that one.
I apologize for the anything that may have been a little too off color for anyone. But I don't really care because they're jokes. And jokes, somebody gets hurt no matter what. If there's a joke, somebody gets hurt. That's why it's called a punchline. I apologize. As long as I don't get hurt, everything's fine. That's all.
Yeah, they're very sensitive these days, aren't they?
Well, I've always had a weird sense of humor. When I was a kid, my father built me a swing next to a wall.
That's like Bob Uecker, right? He used to play catch with a football with his father, but his father would never inflate it and could never throw it.
I love, when I was a kid, my father used to pull me through the snow. I wish we had a sled. I used to write those. There's some of those jokes. They sound like old jokes, but I wrote a lot of them, like father jokes. I forget. I had for a while I was doing stand up, and I was like, you know what? It's just not as funny as the jokes. The jokes are funny. I want to make people laugh hard. If I can say something to make you laugh and say something else to make you laugh harder, I'm going to say what's going to make you laugh harder.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I don't
It's
care what it is.
absolutely your niche. It really is.
Oh, yeah, nobody
absolutely
does
your
it like you.
No,
Yeah.
nobody. I don't think anybody does it better.
Yeah.
Nope, no way.
Now I sound like a whore.
Well,
Doesn't mean you're not. Just
Right,
means
right.
it's your
We
niche.
didn't say you weren't.
I wasn't talking about the joke, Kelly.
Hey,
Okay.
God.
Are we?
Are we done? Are we done?
Goodbye.
Is there somebody else we can insult? Hold on. Wait. Do you have anybody
I was
left?
just going to tell a whore joke, and there was so many of them.
Overload.
Guy said to a whore, how much is $300? It's too much. So if I give you this empty coffee cup, will you piss in it for $10? She says, yeah, I guess. So he hands her a styrofoam cup, and she fills it up with piss, and he gives it $10. And he goes in the alley, and he sticks his cock in the piss, and he says, take soup, you son of a bitch. Meat's too expensive.
Wow.
That's great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. What's today? Thursday? So
Yes.
there's 9:45 tonight. Limo
Hey,
talk.
how long's it been since I've been here? Did we do the COVID joke?
No,
Oh.
you haven't been
So
here
we'll
since
go away
COVID.
with the COVID
Yeah,
joke.
go
All
away
right,
with
cool.
the COVID
Okay.
joke.
Are you jerking me off again?
No.
No,
Nuh-uh.
promise.
The guy goes to his neighbor's house, and he says, hey, neighbor, since the COVID hit, I haven't seen your wife. His neighbor says, oh, she's out back in the garden. He says, well, I was just out there. I didn't see her. He says, well, you got to dig down a little bit.
That's good.
And that joke, unfortunately, gets funnier and funnier with each passing week, month.
Yeah,
year.
right. The father behind it.
Well, yeah. With that, we have to tell you that No Rhyme No Reason's not on tonight because they're joining us at a wake.
Yeah.
But
Cameo.com/Jackie Martling. I will insult your mom. I will tell dirty jokes to your brother. I'll tell clean jokes to your sister. I'll say happy divorce. I'll say congratulations on your new house. You give me a laundry list, 2 or 3 or 4 minutes of jokes. It's really fun, and I should not tell you this, but if you go to cameo.com/Jackie Martling, there's like 6 or 8 samples, and they're all packed with jokes, so you don't have to spend a nickel if you want to just go steal, 20 jokes. It's on me. Happy Easter. Happy Easter in your keister.
damn, I should have wrote that on a cake.
Happy Easter on your keister.
Govs.com, ladies and gentlemen, that's the website for the club. Go check out the schedule, find out what's cooking.
You know why the Easter Bunny hides his Easter eggs, right?
No.
He doesn't want anybody to know that he's fucking chickens. Okay, enough of this.
Never heard that.
Enough of this.
The club is opening this weekend. Don't forget, Friday we'll be here Friday night with the big opening. We'll be hanging out in here, and we'll get all the guys that are playing. We'll get them in here, and they're going to say hi to you.
Speaking of big openings, I'd like to say hello to all my ex-girlfriends.
Again, no rhyme, no reason. They're not on, no rhyme, no reason. No show tonight. They'll be back next Thursday. Limo Talk's on at 9:45, and then we're back tomorrow. We have Chris Monty calling in. We have John Joseph calling in.
I come in person.
Yes.
And those motherfuckers
Those
call
motherfuckers are just
That's
calling in.
Eric Haft might be here tomorrow. Andy Pajanos will be here, and then we have Taz too. Taz is coming in tomorrow.
Taz the
Taz the
Is
resident
there no
artist.
end to the talent?
No.
None.
No.
Say something
Stops
about
right here, Jack, with me. They're almost right here. Stops right here with me. I have no talent.
say something about Don's family.
Oh, all right, and all the best to Don's family. Don Sill, you did the game show with him in here? Don? The game show with the young comedians, and you were judging them?
Judging?
I barely remember.
Yeah.
All right.
Don's brother passed away.
Yeah, so
last
we're
week.
all our thoughts with Don, and that's why he didn't have a show last night. So all the best to Don, and all the best to his family. And then we'll be back here tomorrow.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Everybody have a
everyone.
great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank
See
you for
tomorrow.
having me
Happy
here.
Easter.
Joe.
Anytime, Jackie.
Great to
Always
see you
a
guys.
pleasure.